What's up, it's B4Flex, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can learn the planche push-up. This is the imperfect planche push-up, as the full planche doesn't need to be mastered in order to get this. The push-up is easier than the planche because you only need to hold the planche position for a brief moment at the final part of the repetitions. I'm not too keen on devoting a lot of time to the full planche because I'm a boxer and prioritize boxing training over all else. So this is as far as I'll take my planche training. I've added a 36-week program for the planche push-up to my training program, CALISTHENICS camp, so be sure to check that out after this video. Requirements: you need to be pretty strong to acquire this skill, and I mean pretty strong. In particular, you need really strong shoulders. So here are the requirements. You must be able to weighted dip in addition, so not just your body weight, but add an extra weight, and the extra weight must equal your body weight for at least 3 reps. Alongside that, you must be able to shoulder press your body weight for at least 3 reps. Alright, so shoulder press, military press, it can be dumbbells, but it can also be barbell, and you want to be able to do your body weight on that bar for at least 3 reps. Ideally, I'd even say 5 reps, but 3 is a good amount. If you can't do this yet, spend time building your strength through the shoulder press or handstand push-ups and dips, and keep training them until you meet the strength requirements. Now, for those strong enough, let's get to the tutorial. Before you actually start training, make sure that you're warmed up. Loosen up your shoulders and wrists in particular. But remember, this is pretty much a full body exercise, so spend a decent amount of time on the warm-up before each workout. Step 1. Bent arm tuck planche. So start in the dip position. So have a parallel bar, right? 2 parallel bars that are as high as you need to be able to do dips, right? For now, right? So be in the dip position and then start to lean forward and slowly bend your arms as you lift your lower body up. All right. So lift your lower body up a little bit and lean forwards and bend your arms. Handstands helped me with this, I believe, but they may not be that necessary. It is a pretty simple skill to get, and it's a crucial skill to get in my personal opinion. Make sure you get this position. It's not that confusing. You can lean less in the beginning. So do a mini tuck where you don't necessarily straighten your back as much, right? But the key is basically getting used to leaning forward a little bit and compacting your body. It's basically a mini planche because you don't have to lean as much because your lever isn't that long, but doing it in the bent arm position because most people have stronger bent arm strength than they have straight arm strength. So start off with that. Once you are comfortable isometrically holding this bent arm tucked planche, now I don't mean mini tucked planche, I mean actual tucked planche. Once you get comfortable in that position, start slowly doing short reps. So tuck planche pulses. Short reps until you can fully extend your arms for a complete rep. So same way with when you're doing pull-ups, you start with short reps, right? In my personal view, you start with short reps if you can't do full pull-ups yet until you can finally get that full range of motion. Do the same thing here when it comes to the tuck planche push-ups. So just start doing tuck planche pulses. Do that until you can fully extend your arms at the top of the movement and do a complete rep. Once you're able to do that, move over to step 3, full tuck planche push-ups. So this is one of the most crucial steps. It isn't, but it is one of the most crucial steps. Once you can finally do proper tuck planche push-ups where you got a proper lean, you straighten at the top of the movement. Don't worry, it doesn't need to be like pristine form and all of that because you're just looking for the push-up unless you're really focused on getting a static skill, but then this isn't the video for you. Take your time with this. Potentially when you start off, you're only able to get 3 reps. That's cool. As you progress, you might eventually be able to do 10 reps. And that's when you know that you're advancing in this, right? So keep doing this exercise. Be patient with yourself. Even if you can do 10 reps after your first week, I would still recommend that you take your time and ideally do up to 4 weeks on this, maybe even more. But I'm saying ideally, like minimum 4 weeks, I mean, because you want to actually get familiar with this, especially for some people who haven't been used to any leaning exercises. This is definitely a gateway into that, right? So familiarize yourself with it, take your time here, and once you can do 10 clean reps, you can move over to step 4, bent arm planche transitions. Now, some people are able to get into the bent arm planche or the 90-degree hold from just going into a pseudo planche push-up and leaning forward a lot, and then from there being able to lift their feet off the floor and just balancing. For me personally, I learned it from the tuck planche. So what I did is I was in a tuck planche, and then slowly as I bent my arms, I practiced leaning forward as far as I could, and then over time got more and more comfortable with the lean forwards. It didn't look pretty at first. Initially, it was quite awkward until I got more familiar with it and was able to actually straighten my body mostly. You might end up at an angle to begin with. That's cool. You just want to familiarize yourself. So it's just transitions, getting used to it. You don't need to hold that bent arm position for long, just practice. So as I said, I recommend, this is the path I took, from a tucked planche and then slowly bending my arms as I lean forward as far as I possibly can, whilst obviously maintaining balance. Once you can actually hold that bent arm position with your body relatively straight, doesn't need to be perfect, but just at least fully extended body, you've got that lean, you've got that bent arm position, even if it's just for a few seconds, you can now move over to step 5, bent arm planche isometrics. So this is where you just get comfortable holding that position. Aim from when you first start doing it, maybe just do it for a few seconds, 2-3 seconds. Just get used to that, to holding that isometric basically, right? Do that. Eventually move to 5 seconds. Then ideally you're able to get to 10 seconds. And that's where you want to be at. Aiming to do it for 10 seconds and doing sets of that. Just holding it for 10 seconds. Familiarize yourself with that. It's going to be extremely intense if you're new to this, but just familiarize yourself with that. Practice even breathing whilst in that position until you can move over to the next step. And do this for a while. As I said, with the tuck planche push-ups, I would recommend that you familiarize yourself with the bent arm planche for about a month, right? 4 weeks. Do it in your workouts. Obviously continue doing things like tuck planche push-ups so you keep that strength going, right? And getting used to the dynamic movement, or potentially just the transitions from the tuck planche push-ups into the bent arm planche. But the isometric holds of the bent arm planche, keep adding that in your workouts for about 4 weeks. Make yourself familiar with this, because as I said, this is an intense exercise when you're new to this. So familiarize yourself with this hold. It's also a great core exercise. But yeah, familiarize yourself with this hold before you move over to step 6. Step 6 is bent arm planche pushes. So from here, you want to start in the bent arm planche, and then you want to practice shifting your lean a little bit, right? So not leaning forward as much so that you can actually push your body up. You might start with kipping your legs up first so that you can get your body up. But basically, it's just practicing being able to push with your shoulders so that you can get into that straight arm planche position. Not to hold it, just so you can practice pushing. So all you need to do is push, and then you just basically fall, kind of, right? Or land with your legs. You don't need to control it. It's just practicing getting into that controlled bent arm position and then pushing up. Ideally, of course, you would do this for about 4 weeks as well, right? So you familiarize yourself with it, but do this alongside doing the bent arm planche isometric as well. But it doesn't need to take you that long. It only took me about a week or so before I moved over to pulses, maybe even less than that. Once you are familiar with this push though, understanding your body weight, you can now move over to the pulses. Right, the pulses are short reps. Yet again, just like you did with the tuck planche push-ups, you did pulses before you were able to get the full tuck planche push-up. It's going to be the exact same here. So you want to start doing short reps basically. Limit your range of motion. Just pulsate a little bit. Keep familiarizing yourself with these pulses. Do these for sets. For example, do 3 reps to begin with, then maybe 5 reps. And as I said, the range of motion doesn't need to be great. Just familiarize yourself with this movement. Get used to pushing up a little bit and then controlling it as you come back down into controlled position, rather than just pushing up and not being able to control it from there. And then gradually increase your range of motion. You can do this for 4 weeks. You can even do this for 8 weeks, 2 months, even more than that, just to familiarize yourself with this, right? There is no rush. And then once you're finally able to fully straighten pretty much, or as close as you can to straighten into that full planche, even if it's just for a split second, you finally finished it. You've got the planche push-up. It's that simple. Start from that short range of motion and then keep slowly increasing that range of motion until you can fully straighten your arms. And then you've got the planche push-up, the imperfect planche push-up. With each and every single exercise or step, do 3 to 10 reps, all right? No less than 3 ideally. No more than 10, right? So 3 to 10 reps. Once you can get past 10, focus on improving your range of motion, right? Focus on improving your form, basically, rather than just increasing the amount of reps. So you don't even need to do 10. You can stop at 5 reps, but basically it's just improving your form on the exercise. And for the isometrics, or before you're able to do clean reps and stuff like that, do 5 to 20 seconds. Ideally, it'd be around 10 to 20 seconds, but 5 seconds as a minimum is still okay, especially when you're starting out on a new step or new exercise. Do you want to do each and every exercise for 3 to 5 sets, 2 to 3 days a week? You can do more. You can do up to 5 days a week, but if you got to do easier workouts, right? Because this is intense, so you want to be able to recover. But if you do easier exercises, then you might be able to do more often a week, but 2 to 3 times is most definitely sufficient, and 3 times, and some weeks 2 times, depending on your recovery level, I would say is optimal. Also, make sure that you're doing this before your workout. So ideally, if you're doing push, for example, you got a push workout or an upper body workout, do this before, because you don't want to be tired for this. With some skills, you can do the skills after training strength, whereas with this skill necessitates strength. All right, so you don't want to use your reserved strength for this. You want to use all of your strength, right? So do this first. And even before training legs, if you were going to do a full body workout, still do this before legs as well, because as I said, you need all your energy for this workout. If you want my foolproof 36-week training program for the planche push-up, visit my website and get it separately, or purchase Calisthenics Camp. In this program, you get every single calisthenics training plan I've ever made and ever will make. You get lifetime access. There were already 8 training programs on there, ranging from Cali Starter for beginners, Calisthenics for intermediates, Gravity Chamber for veterans, and Leverage for purists. Alongside these 4 strength and muscle programs, there are skill programs like the handstand push-up, the muscle up, the one-arm pull-up, and the front lever guide. And now also the planche push-up guide. So check it out. It's linked in the description box. Alright guys, it's B4Flex, and I'm out.